NTA, you can't beat the rich.
Hello and welcome. It's time for another interesting package of
everything music.
Angelina, the cool in my temperature. If you call, I go can deliver.
This is Stocky Movies.
In times of old, the world was full of wonder.
Welcoming you to your weekend for today.
Right, so come patrol. It's time to use our voice.
Beyond 6 packs.
Bills.
Pay the bills, pay the telephone bill, pay my bill.
Welcome to Gallery.
Me and my parties.
London for what?
London for medicine.
Medicine for what?
Medicine for coffee.
Are you sickness?
Who are illness. Welcome to Gist Zone.
Alright, my name is the Estelucian Wego One. Ona nyokoko nyonyo.
Information is power. Everyone wants power. So feel powerful with the NTA News Mobile app, the one-stop information center. Real news at your fingertip. Be the first to report by uploading first-hand information on the U Report link, and be the first to know by simply clicking on any of the links on the sidebar for headlines, domestic and foreign news, economy, security, politics, sports, and more. Stream live on your smartphone and tablets and stay connected. It's pretty easy. Simply download NTA News app from your Google Play Store and you're good to go.
Hello, this is Venice 10 live on the network service of the NTA. We are broadcasting live from our studio here in Abuja. Here are the headlines. President Buhari departs Abuja for Kigali, Rwanda to attend Chogom 2022. Nigeria makes strong case for increased funding for the creative sector in Africa. Things may be looking up for civil servants as federal government launches bus service scheme. Operation Hadinkai rescues 2 more Chibok school girls and their infants. I am Musbat and Wahab. Thanks a lot for joining me on the news. President Muhammadu Buhari departs Abuja today, Wednesday, for Kigali, Rwanda to attend the 26th Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting, Chogom, being held from June 20 to 26, 2022, of events and people living in the 54 independent countries in Africa, Asia, the Americas, Europe, and the Pacific that make up the Commonwealth nations. The theme for Chogom 2022 is delivering a common future, connecting, innovating, transforming. The heads of governments are expected to reaffirm their commitment to upholding the Commonwealth Charter, which focuses on democracy, human rights, the rule of law, as well as economic opportunities and sustainable development. President Buhari will attend the official opening ceremony on June 24, followed by high-level meetings of heads of state and governments on Friday 24 and Saturday 25 of June. The leaders are expected to consider a range of topic ratios including post-COVID-19 economic recovery, debt sustainability, climate change, poverty reduction, youth entrepreneurship, and employment, trade, and food security. President Buhari is also expected to hold bilateral talks with some leaders from the Commonwealth countries. The president will return to the country on Saturday, June 26, 2022. Meanwhile, before departing, President Muhammadu Buhari has written to the Senate seeking the confirmation of several ministerial nominees. The nominees are to replace those who stepped down in pursuit of their political ambitions. National Assembly correspondent Ignatius Nkwo reports.
Sequel to the resignation of some cabinet members in May, President Muhammadu Buhari promised to fill in the vacancies on time. Less than 2 months, the president has forwarded names of those he believes are capable of filling these ministerial positions. President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, read the executive communication.
Henry Ikechukwu Iko, Abia State. Umana Okon Umana, Akwa Ibom State. 3. Ekuman Kama Joseph Nkama, Ebonyi State. 4. Goodluck Nana Opia, Imo State. 5. Umar Ibrahim Eliakub, Kano State. 6. Ademola Adewole Adegorie, Ondo State. And 7. Odum Udi, River State. Copies of their curriculum vitae are attached herewith. It is my hope that this exercise will receive the usual expeditious consideration of the distinguished members of the Senate.
Senate passed bills establishing federal medical centers in Oshobo, Ijebu-Ode, Gada, and Onitsha, while the Police Pension Board establishment bill, sponsored by Senator Elisha Abu Ishaku, passed second reading.
The broad objective of this bill, therefore, Mr. President, is to bring equality, equity, and justice in the payment of pensions between the police and our sister agencies.
Senators Sadiq Umar and Aliu Sabi Abdullahi drew the attention of the Senate to what they described as worsening security situation in Kenji Lake National Park. The People's Democratic Party, PDP, has appointed Minority Chief Whip Senator Philip Aduda as Minority Leader of the Senate. He replaces Senator Enyinaya Abaribe, who defected to Abga. Senator Chukwuka Otazi is to take over from Aduda as Minority Chief Whip. 3 senators defected to other political parties: Ahmed Babakaita, Katsina North, from the All Progressives Congress to the People's Democratic Party, PDP; Lawal Yahaya Gumau, Bauchi South, from the APC to NNPP; while Francis Alimihena, Edo North, from the APC to the PDP. With this, Senate is now made up of 66 APC members, PDP 39, NNPP 2, YPP 1, ABGA 1. From the National Assembly, Ignatius Nkwo, NTA News.
Yes, similarly, National Assembly correspondent Lamia Ali is also reporting that President Muhammadu Buhari has transmitted the Business Facilitation Bill to the House of Representatives for consideration and approval.
The Deputy Speaker, Ahmed Idris Wasi, read the presidential communication, which states that the bill seeks to promote the ease of doing business in Nigeria by amending existing legislation.
While hoping that this submission will receive the usual expeditious consideration of the House, please accept the Right Honorable Speaker the assurance of my highest consideration. Yes, President Muhammadu Buhari.
In the meantime, the House of Representatives has resolved to invite the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission over the poor quality of some health and hygiene-related products used in homes, offices, and hospitals, as it wants the Commission to justify the presence of such products in Nigerian markets. The motion from Sergio Sogo made reference to what he calls misleading advertisements of such products.
Despite the poor quality of these toilet cleaning disinfectants, there are several television sponsored advertisements that are misleading unsuspecting members of the public who rely on such adverse product information to make purchases.
House members noted that the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission is empowered by law to protect consumers and mandated Committee on Commerce to meet with the Commission on the matter. A bill seeking the establishment of National Emergency Medical Services Agency forwarded from the Senate for concurrence passed second reading. Also passed at second reading is the bill to establish Federal University of Science and Technology, Ramo, Ogun State, sponsored by Oriomi Onanuga. The House Committee on Interior laid 5 reports for consideration and approval, including the reports of the bill seeking the establishment of a single board for the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, Nigeria Immigration, Federal Fire and Correctional Services. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
Away from the National Assembly, as political activities heat up ahead of the 2023 general elections, the prevalence of substitution of candidates vying for different positions by political parties has become a major source of concern. Guest on NTA's Good Morning Nigeria, however, notes that the practice is not in violation of Electoral Act 2022, but it is often engendered due to some political as well as ethno-religious considerations.
That window is there. As long as you do so, there's absolutely nothing wrong. The problem will come on 2 occasions. One, if you try to go outside of that window. If it's a day later, sorry. I think it was 15th of July for presidential candidates and 12th of August for governorship candidates. So that window is there.
The electoral law has provision for you to change your candidate, that if the candidates that you have submitted to INEC now says I'm withdrawing for whatever reasons, all INEC wants you to do is to within the time limit, like I've said, for the presidential, maybe by the end of September, for the governorship by 15th July.
Former Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Kogi State, Abdullahi Haruna, decried the practice, emphasizing that some politicians take undue advantage of the provisions in the Electoral Act.
This situation we have today is a peculiar Nigerian situation because the provisions for substitution are meant for substitution in actual circumstances, not a situation where you are not prepared and you put a candidate, even though technically you are said not to have violated the provision.
The prevalence of money in politics in Nigeria's electioneering process, funding of political parties and internal party democracy was also central to the discussions. Good Morning Nigeria is broadcast every weekday on the network surveys of the NTA and rebroadcast on NTA News 24 at 5 minutes past 5 each day. FCT, INEC and partners have commenced a massive registration exercise for residents in efforts to ensure that the votes of the youth counts. Aisha Ubali reports that the 5-day exercise holding at the Old Parade Ground, Area 10, is simultaneously ongoing across the 36 states and the FCT. It will be rounded off with a mega music concert on June 26.
That was what it looked like at the INEC office last week, with the upsurge and clamor for registration. But with the 5-day exercise, all attention is now at the Old Parade Ground, where more than 50 machines have been made available to attend to PVC issues.
It is because of the sensitization, and the awareness now being created more, and people are becoming, very conscious to go and deliver their own responsibility.
Our contribution to this is providing them that platform and that opportunity to get on the register. And in Lagos, like Laulu mentioned, we had lots of young people who showed up. In fact, in Lagos alone, for the few days that registration held, over 11,000 people were added on the voters register for Lagos. We hope that also in Abuja, there will be more than that because of the sort.
On the speculation of extension, the resident electoral commissioner emphasized that it is a policy decision which can only be decided by the National Commission as the FCT Commission works with directives. It was also an opportunity for INEC to call on eligible voters to collect their PVCs instead of leaving them at the commission after a rigorous exercise. In Abuja, Aisha Uba Ali, NTA News.
And in Calabar, the Cross River State capital, the clamor for PVC registration heightened as most eligible voters are making frantic effort to get registered. In an interaction with correspondent Maureen Leo Ajam, the electorate appealed for the extension of the exercise and the decentralization of the registration centers to the world level for ease of registration.
The Federal High Court in Abuja has stopped the Independent National Electoral Commission from ending voter registration on 30th June 2022. Many eligible Nigerians in Cross River State are clamoring for extension and effective strategies to get people registered. They note that accessing the various services of either change of voting points, loss of PVC, after online registration are still cumbersome.
Last time I applied for a transfer at that Marian office, but yet up till now I'm yet to get my voters card transferred to Cross River because this wasn't the place I registered.
To collect some is a problem, and they did not start early. I wish they start maybe, let's assume maybe like 7 o'clock to meet up time.
I did my registration online, so they gave me they sent me a message and email yesterday that I should go to Mariam, which I went there now and they are not there, and that is a whole lot of stress for me.
Others are calling for the decentralization of registration units to the ward level in order not to disenfranchise many Nigerians from casting their vote come 2023 general elections.
Subsequently, I advise that the INEC, they should take this thing to wards, to neighborhoods, so that it will be easier for people to register.
INEC should open some other points for this registration.
Efforts to speak with the Cross River State resident electoral commissioner were not successful. In Calabar, Maureen Leo Ajong, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the Buhari Media Organization has described the just concluded Ekiti governorship election as yet another proof of President Muhammadu Buhari's determination to leave a legacy of a successful electoral process. In a statement signed by its chairman, Niyi Akinshiju, the BMO said the president's disposition was instrumental to the success of the election. BMO particularly find it interesting, but the logistics for the election arrived early, and the deployment of a biomodal voter accreditation system, BVAS, was largely itch-free to the extent that Yiaga Africa, a notable civil society group, rated INEC highly. The group also hails the maturity of the PDP candidate, Olabisi Kolawole, for accepting he was truly defeated in the election. BMO urged Nigerians to continue to trust in the ability of President Buhari to clean up the electoral process in line with his administration, but elections should not be seen as a do-or-die affairs. This is the news at 10, live on NTA when the news returns. Two more Chibok girls and their infants rescued. We have details in just a moment. Country. The first component of a social media-driven project will be the launch of Buhari's Government Has Zero project, hashtag showcasing 1,321 underreported completed an ongoing infrastructural project of visa administration across the 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory, including the 774 local government areas, 8,809 wards, and over 44,045. President Muhammadu Buhari has directed increased efforts, kinetic and non-kinetic, to safely rescue the 51 or more kidnapped railway passengers still in custody and bring the case to a closure. In a statement, the presidency disclosed that the kidnappers made a demand for the release of the children, and upon the settlement of the issue, they let go 11 of the victims, even though more were expected. The statement added that the government is not leaving any stone unturned in the effort to bring all of the hostages back. The defense, security, and intelligence agencies have given assurances to intensify operational engagements geared towards securing the rescue of all hostages and restoring peace of all parts of the country. Government is also mindful of efforts of some patriotic and influential persons and institutions that are helping in securing the safe release of the hostages. The statement further maintained that President Buhari welcomes the return of the recently released train passengers back to their families and loved ones, while expressing commitment to the families of those still in captivity, assuring that there will be no let up until they are reunited with their families in the shortest time possible. And now 2 more girls and their infants have been rescued by the Theatre Command of Joint Task Force Operation Hadinkai. The theatre commander, Major General Christopher Musa, says the girls are among the Chibok school girls abducted by Boko Haram in April 2014. Following the resumption of proceedings in the trial of Peter Nwachukwu, husband to late gospel singer Osinachi Nwachukwu, the High Court of the Federal Capital Territory, Wuse, has ordered that the evidence of 2 underage prosecution witnesses slated to testify in the trial were taken in camera. These formed parts of proceedings are a continuation of the defendant's matter. Olabode Arewa reports that Peter Nwachukwu is facing trial for his alleged involvement in acts leading to the death of his wife.
The trial at Tuesday's proceedings kicked off with an application by the prosecution counsel, Aderonke Emana, asking the court to grant the underage witnesses slated to testify to do so in line with the provisions of the Child Rights Act and the Evidence Act. The court granted the prayer, particularly since the defense counsel did not oppose the motion. Thereafter, a twin sister to late Osinachi, Amarachieze, mounted the witness box as the third prosecution witness. She gave a graphic description of the unfriendly conditions in the matrimonial home of the Nwachukwus and the said ailment of the deceased, which purportedly led to her death on April 8 this year. The defense demanded the written statement of the witness to cross-examine her by it. The court accepted the witness statement as an exhibit. The defendant has pleaded not guilty to the charges, saying that his wife died of a lung infection in Abuja, Olabode Arewa. NTA News.
Away from the judiciary, for Nigeria to meet various targets relating to water, sanitation and hygiene, including the SGJ, subnational governments and other stakeholders must double up efforts in this regard. This is very indication as Water Resources Minister Suleiman Adamu launched the Water, Sanitation and Hygiene National Outcome Routine Mapping Washdown Report, the third in the series. The data were generated in collaboration with the National Bureau of Statistics and UNICEF. It's another report to provide quality data for planning and mobilization, as well as progress on the water, sanitation and hygiene wash sector. But this one is a mixed bag of setback, marginal progress and huge task still ahead. During the year, under review, access to basic water supply services declined by 3% from the 70% in 2019, while 46% of Nigeria's population was found to have access to basic sanitation services as against the 44 in 2019. But ironically, despite more LGAs becoming open defecation free, the number of people still practicing open defecation has increased from 46 million people in 2019 to 48 million in 2021. COVID-19 was blamed as one of the reasons.
As we are growing, the population is also increasing. So what this shows is that the efforts we're making to reduce the figure were not commensurate with the rising population.
The level of access to water, sanitation, hygiene in the country is still not on track to achieve the SDG 6.1 or 6.2.
With the hurdles identified, participants here believe this report provides necessary information to skate through.
The vast amount of data collected under this survey will be used for strategic, efficient, and equitable budget allocation and use for resources, devising and implementing well-targeted, effective policies and programs.
The outcome of the WASH norm survey is another boost to improve documentation and also provide strategic direction to the efforts of the government and our implementing partners in reducing the diseases caused by water-related illnesses.
And now, with COVID-19 being pushed behind, the ministry says it is ready to pick up for an improved performance. You're watching the News at 10 on NTA. We have more reports still ahead, including things may be looking up for civil servants as transportation burden is lessened. We have details presently.